So today we are going to actually design and run a personal finance assistant, which will take as an input your bank statement and then categorize it into different subheadings like groceries, entertainment, other expenses, and all that, and then give you suggestions as to where you can optimize your expenditures and increase savings and all those kinds of things. So this is just a basic one, so we can actually make it better, or maybe further enhance it depending on the requirement. But today I wanted to just take the opportunity to show you basic uh, personal finance assistant. Okay, so before we get into the complete details, let me first run it and show it to you how it works. Okay, so this is my IDE where I write my Python code. So I'll go onto the terminal and give it some time to load. Okay, and it's loading, and now I just type out or paste this command, okay, which is a Streamlit command, and I will tell you how this works in a bit. Okay, so but first let's run this and show it to you as to how it works. Let's give it some time. It takes little bit of time to get started. So okay, so it is opening up a window or a browser tab where we will see certain things shortly. So it's still loading up, it's running. uh, Give it a few more seconds. Okay, so it has loaded up. So what it is asking me to do is to drag and drop a CSV or a PDF file containing my bank statements. So I'll just browse, and it will open up uh, some bank statements for me. So I will just uh, get, let's say, the CSV file, and it will say successfully saved, and then it will start processing it, and it will give me some output. So again, give it a little bit of time. It is loading up. Okay, so it has loaded up. uh, okay, so this is how the advice is coming, that I can save at least 20% and by avoiding unnecessary responses. Again, we can make it pretty dynamic. Okay. So description you are seeing as unknown, that's because it does not recognize the merchants here. If I could categorize the merchants in the uploaded bank statement as these are some of the vendors, like for say Flipkart is for maybe personal shopping, then water and like airlines is for travel, apartment is for rent and all that, Netflix is for entertainment and all those things, then most probably it will be a little bit better. But I just wanted to give you a quick feel of how this works. So this is how it looks basically on the top level if we run it. Okay, now let me go little bit deeper into it and show you as to how I have designed it.
It's all about AI.
So now let's get into the details a little bit deeper. So let's start with what components or technologies I have used to build this. First, we have used Python, which of course is going to be the programming language. Then ChatGPT is called in the background to analyze and to provide the answers, which is going to be the LLM model in the background. Then I have used an agentic AI framework, which is CrewAI in this case, and then Streamlit, which is a Python package which will help us to build a user interface without having much of coding, like actually without having to do much of coding with HTML and CSS and all that. Okay, then moving on, this is the kind of folder structure we need to create for this project. I have named this project as Personal Finance AI. Then comes these are the Python files. We'll go into those in a little bit. I'll show you. But these are some of the main Python files that will be used. And then under that there is a component folder which contains the dashboard file and the upload file. Dashboard is nothing but a Streamlit dashboard that I already discussed about, which will allow us to build a kind of user interface which is very user friendly and very programmer friendly as well, in order to build that. And then the upload file functionality, where you get those that browse button to upload a file and all that. So these are the two files that will be handling that. Then in the data section we have the file that gets uploaded through that Streamlit user interface gets stored here, the bank transaction. It can be in two forms, either a CSV or a PDF. Just kept it as a sample here for reference for your better understanding. And then we have the static folder, which can contain styles.css, which is optional if you want to style your page in a particular way. And if you're good in CSS, you can do that. And then some documentation in terms of the requirements, like what are the things that we need to pip install and all that, like Streamlit and all. And then the readme.md, which is a markdown file which tells us what this exactly does and how to implement this. Okay, so on an overview, this should be the file structure. Now let me move into the files individually. Okay, so the first file where we start the processing is the app.py file. This is the main entry point, where the core Streamlit UI app will integrates and fetches that file that it needs to upload. Then it calls on the Crew AI processing agents to process that file, and then give a virtual the visualization of the dashboard, right? So this is the main file from which the entire program calls various other files. Okay, then comes our CrewAI pipeline file, which contains three agents. Basically, one is the data collector agent, which collects the data from the PDF or the Excel file that we upload. And then there is a financial analyst agent which will analyze that data. And then there is the recommendation agent, which based on the financial analysis, it will recommend that what are the areas we can optimize our expenditure and do some savings. Okay, then comes the data processor file, which actually extracts the data from the CSV and PDF and converts them into a structured format. And then comes the finance analyzer file, which actually categorize the transactions into predefined categories based on the merchant, like for example rent, groceries, entertainment, travel, and so on and so forth. And then the savings.py file, savings advisor.py file, which uses AI logic to analyze the spending pattern and provide financial recommendations and so on and so forth. And then the components, which are the Streamlit UI component. The first one is upload file, that browse button you get, and the way you upload the file, that is handled here. And then the dashboard, which gives you a view of the output in terms of the analysis it has done, and then where are the areas that you can optimize your savings and all that things, right? So this is the components. And then coming down to data, this is the place where the data that you are going to upload, either the CSV format of bank savings, or maybe the PDF file that you upload gets saved here. And the application basically picks up the file from here once you have uploaded it to start processing. Okay, then comes the static folder, which is kind of an optional. If you are good in CSS and you want your UI or the Streamlit web browser based application to look a little bit better or in a particular format, you can use CSS files to design that if you are good at it. Otherwise, this is just an optional thing. And then comes the requirements, where we list down all the dependencies, like what are the softwares we need to install, how do we install, and all those things. And then the readme dot markdown file, md is markdown file. And they talks about all the documentation and all the how the program works, what does it do, what how like what do you need to run it and all that. Okay, so this is the kind of the files and folder structure. Now I'll show you how I have written it. So if we look at the left hand side here, right, so this is the personal finance assistant, and then under components, as I told you, we have the dashboard.py, which gives the dashboard view of the output and all that. So this is the dashboard one. Then this is the upload one, where we get the upload button or browse and upload button and all that. Okay, so and then comes the data file where we upload like whatever bank statements we upload, it gets stored here. And then the static, this is the css file we talked about. If you are good at css, you can write some css code here and it will be reflected into the Streamlit dashboard that I already showcased. Okay, and this is basically the dashboard.html. It's a very basic html file, which you can create if you are good at html. Otherwise Streamlit will create it for you. So I've written no code here, but if you want, you can input your own code if you know how to handle that. But otherwise Streamlit will use this dashboard.html to create its own interface. Okay, so rest of these you already know. These are environmental files, will not virtual environment files basically, so will not touch them. Then comes our app.py file, py file, which is the main file, as I already told. This is the base from which everything gets called and executed. So this is the code for that. And then the CrewAI pipeline file, which defines the three agents: the data extractor, the analysis agent, and then the suggestion agent that gives us the suggestions, right? So this is basically uh, um, uh, a kind of orchestrator file which will call in other files also. Okay, or the other agent files basically. Okay, so like for example, this is the data processor file which gets called. Okay, and then the finance analysis file, which analysis finance analyzes all the expenses that you have made and all that, right? Then we have the savings advisor, which will advise you as to how you can save more money and all that. And last but not the least, the utils.py file, which is kind of loading the call for the chat gpt key and all that, so that it can connect to the ChatGPT API to fetch the details from there, or fetch the LLM's suggestions and outputs from there. Okay, so this is the overall structure. So as I already showed you, if you then go into this terminal and try to run it by writing streamlit run app.py, you will get this. You can either click this, or it will automatically open up a browser window for you, from where you can start running the application and upload the file and get your desired output. So on an overall, this is how this works. I hope this is useful for you. If any one of you wants the code for this file, just drop me a comment below and I'll send him or her a link to download the code so that you can play around with it. And also, I would request you, if you want me to build any particular application and show it to you over a video, or work with me together to build some applications which are very interesting for you, then please do write a comment below, and I will be sure to respond back or contact you back. Okay, so I'll look forward to that. So thank you for watching today's video. Really appreciate it. So until my next video, have a nice weekend, uh, and enjoy.